Sam Baruch. Our father, Sam Baruch, was a member of the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills for over 60 years. He regularly davened at the 7:30 a.m. weekday minyan and enjoyed attending Rabbi Fabian Schoenfeld's Shabbos afternoon shir. For Yom Tov, he helped set up the chairs in the Simcha room and built the shul's sukkah. His warm personality and big smile made Sam loved by people of all ages, especially since he was one of the shul's unofficial candy men. He is sorely missed. Burl Biederman. Burl Biederman, beloved husband of Nechama, was a respected Askan and Baal Chesed of the Kew Gardens Hills community. Although our Young Israel was not his primary shul, he was a longtime member and dear friend of our rabbi. Julius Cohn. Our parents, Julius and Celia, moved into Kew Gardens Hills in 1971. Dad attended the Shabbat 9 a.m. minyan upstairs and the downstairs minyan for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. He was a regular at Rabbi Rushfield's Gemara Shir and was zocheh to finish Daf Yomi 4 times. Our parents' house's backyard adjoined that of Rabbi Schoenfeld, Zichrono Livracha. This led to a very close personal relationship between them and made the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills one of the focal points of their lives. Rose Huttle. My mother was a member of the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills for 52 years. During that time, she ran a wine program through Emunah and was honored by Emunah. She developed a close friendship with Rabbi Schoenfeld Sr. and respected him greatly. She went to his Parsha classes weekly once she retired. Being part of the Young Israel gave my mother and father a community to belong to, and they developed close friendships with people through the shul, minyanim, and events. Rabbi David Keen. Harav David Yitzchak ben Akiva Yehuda Keen, 54, was a dedicated community icon, beloved husband, father, and brother. He was well known to all as the chaplain of Queens. Rabbi Keen left an indelible mark on young and old, lecturing to school children and helping the hospital bound for 23 years at New York Presbyterian Queens Hospital as their Jewish chaplain and director of pastoral care, and as the hospital rabbi at NYU Langone's Manhattan campus since 2017. Rabbi Keen was known to help families during their time of need, ministering to patients, families, and staff across the Jewish spectrum, and to people of all faiths. He developed relationships with the leading rabbis in the community as well as with clergy. Rabbi Keen stood true to his goal of helping make a difficult time easier by giving each person the ministry of the moment. Rabbi Keen was dedicated to Congregation Ahavas Yisrael, the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills, Vad Harabanim of Queens, and was deeply involved in so many community groups. Lawrence Levine. At a community function in 1968, Rabbi Fabian Schoenfeld was sitting at the dais with his aging father when the elder Rabbi Schoenfeld had to leave the room. Rabbi Fabian, with no concern for his own honor, rose and escorted his father out, waited for him, and escorted him back to his seat, all in the middle of this major gathering. In the crowd was Larry Levine, who had recently moved to Kew Gardens Hills with his wife and 2 young children. After witnessing this display of Rabbi Fabian's character, Larry would later say he knew he had found the rabbi for him and his family, and they made the Young Israel their spiritual home. Larry always did whatever he could to help the shul, in official positions such as a delegate to the National Council of Young Israel and as recording secretary, as well as unofficially as liaison to and frequent correspondent with elected officials and local media. He used his graphics skills to design flyers and other materials and to contribute to the Torch and the annual YIKGH book. He was a regular participant in the daily minyanim and various shiurim. He recently bestowed on Rabbi Yoel years' worth of recordings of Rabbi Fabian's Monday night shiur, and he worked selflessly to improve the level of decorum in the main shul. And yet, no matter what he did for the shul, he always felt that the shul had given so much more. Dr. Irving Listowski. Dr. Irving Listowski joined our shul over 40 years ago when the family moved to Kew Gardens Hills in 1980. Together with his wife Sarah, children Rena Boniak, Dr. Philip Listowski, and Rabbi Ari Listowski, he built a life in our shul and neighborhood. His membership in the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills, minyan and cheer participation was felt by all and will now be missed. In December 2019, the Listowski and Schoenfeld families united for a future Bayis Ne'eman b'Yisrael, literally, as the granddaughter of Rabbi Fabian Schoenfeld and the grandson of Dr. Irving Listowski married. Ruth Lindenbaum. Ruth and Charlie Lindenbaum moved from the Lower East Side of Manhattan approximately 45 years ago and quickly became involved in the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills. Ruth's spirituality and emunah were always visible. She was instrumental in arranging that a sofer come to our shul each year to check members' tefillin and mezuzot. Rabbi Joseph Rich. Rabbi Rich and his wife Betty became members of the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills more than 40 years ago. They also joined the Chevra Kadisha and attended the yearly Chevra dinners. Their children grew up in Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills, participating in Shabbat groups, youth minyan, and Bnei Akiva. Although they belonged to 4 shuls in Kew Gardens Hills, they felt especially connected to the Young Israel due to their relationship with Rabbi Fabian Schoenfeld and their neighbor, Rabbi Yoel Schoenfeld. My father was fortunate to see many grandchildren and great-grandchildren who continue in his values of love of Hashem, Am Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael. Marilyn Schwartz. My parents, Edward and Marilyn Schwartz, became members of the Young Israel of Kew Gardens Hills approximately 13 years ago. My mother especially loved attending the shul lecture series and always had insightful contributions to offer. Doris Sklar. My parents, Doris and Sonny, followed my grandparents, Jenny and Joe Sklar, to Kew Gardens Hills in 1963. My mother, always with a smile, was active in the Women's League and was there to help whenever needed. The shul meant the world to my parents, and they were proud to be congregants of Rabbi Schoenfeld. Thelma Wadler. Our mom, Thelma Wadler, was born in Providence, Rhode Island, and was raised in Florida. She was introduced to our dad by a family friend while working on the army base where Dad was stationed. Hashem actually worked through our mom to save our dad from being shipped overseas with his company. She told her superior officer that they were getting engaged, and he agreed to hold our dad back. No one from our father's company returned from the war. Our parents married, began raising our family in Jacksonville, Florida, but moved us to New York so we could have a yeshiva education. Mom left her family and her life in Florida, embraced our dad's family and the Kew Gardens Hills community. Our mom is probably best known for her tireless devotion to the Queen's Chevra Kadisha, having completed over 20,000 taharas. But her family knows her best for her huge, accepting, loving heart, the joy with which she performed the mitzvah of Hachnasas Orchim, and the way she put her family first and herself last always. She is and always will be sorely missed. Julius Leon Yuzerski. My parents, Leon and Mildred, moved to Kew Gardens Hills in June 1964. They received a telegram from the Young Israel welcoming them to the community. For many years, my father attended the Shabbos Hashkama Minyan, followed by the Shir with Rabbi Pfeiffer. Although in later years it was too difficult to participate in Young Israel Minyanim, membership and connection to the rabbi remained important. May their neshamot have an aliyah, and may they be militzei yosher for us all. We will never forget these precious souls.